On the morning of July 10, 2023, what began as a routine inmate transport in Marion County, Indiana, spiraled into a deadly chain of events that exposed serious concerns inside one of the state's largest jail systems. Authorities say the incident involved a murder suspect, a veteran sheriff's deputy, a violent attack inside a secured jail transport area, and the theft of a law enforcement vehicle in broad daylight. According to official reports, Marion County Sheriff's Deputy John Durm arrived at the criminal justice campus to transport inmate Orlando Mitchell to a medical appointment. Mitchell was being held on a murder charge at the time. Court records and law enforcement statements confirm that Deputy Durm placed Mitchell in handcuffs and shackles before escorting him into a secure transport van. The inmate was restrained according to standard transport procedures, including the use of a waist restraint, commonly known as a belly chain. The transport then departed the criminal justice campus and headed to Eskenazi Hospital for Mitchell's scheduled medical appointment. Investigators later stated that nothing initially appeared unusual about the trip. Deputy Durm was regarded by colleagues as an experienced and dedicated officer who routinely handled inmate transports. Following the appointment, Mitchell was escorted back into the transport van while still restrained. Authorities confirmed he remained in handcuffs and connected restraints during the return trip to the jail. When the van arrived back at the facility, Deputy Durm began unloading the inmate. Prosecutors say that was the moment Orlando Mitchell launched a sudden attack. According to investigators, Mitchell had somehow managed to partially slip free from his restraints without Deputy Durm noticing. As he stepped out of the van, Mitchell allegedly wrapped the loose handcuff chain around Deputy Durm's neck and pulled backwards with force. Investigators say the deputy was caught completely off guard. What followed was a violent struggle lasting nearly 2 minutes. Authorities later stated the confrontation resulted in catastrophic injuries, including a broken neck. The attack created immediate chaos inside the secured jail area. Investigators say Mitchell then climbed into the driver's seat of the sheriff's transport van and fled the scene. A nearby Cumberland police officer reportedly noticed the transport van leaving under suspicious circumstances and quickly radioed for assistance, triggering a large-scale law enforcement response. Emergency alerts were issued across Marion County as deputies searched for the stolen vehicle and the escaped inmate. Authorities later confirmed that Deputy John Durm died from the injuries he suffered during the assault. His death sent shockwaves through Indiana law enforcement agencies and devastated members of the Marion County Sheriff's Office. As the investigation unfolded, officials faced mounting questions surrounding jail staffing levels, inmate supervision, and transport security procedures. Marion County Sheriff Kerry Forrestal later acknowledged that chronic understaffing within the department played a role in the tragedy. According to the sheriff, the agency had been operating under severe personnel shortages for an extended period, placing significant pressure on deputies responsible for inmate transportation and jail security. The admission intensified public scrutiny surrounding the case. Critics questioned whether a single deputy should have been assigned to transport a high-risk murder suspect alone. Others raised concerns about how Mitchell allegedly loosened his restraints without detection. Investigators also examined whether additional staffing, improved transport procedures, or enhanced monitoring could have prevented the deadly attack. The case quickly became one of Indiana's most widely discussed jail security failures in recent years. Court records show Orlando Mitchell already faced serious criminal charges before the incident. Following Deputy Durm's death, prosecutors filed additional charges connected to the killing and escape. Law enforcement officials described the attack as deliberate and calculated. Investigators reviewed surveillance footage, forensic evidence, transport procedures, and witness statements to reconstruct the events leading up to the assault. The killing also renewed national conversations about the dangers correctional officers and transport deputies face while working inside detention systems. Unlike patrol officers responding to calls on the street, detention deputies often work in confined spaces alongside inmates accused of violent crimes. Experts note that inmate transport situations can become especially dangerous because officers must move inmates between secure facilities and public locations while managing restraints throughout the process. Former corrections officials explained that even restrained inmates can remain highly dangerous if an officer becomes isolated or distracted. Investigators believe Mitchell allegedly freed enough slack from his restraints to use the handcuff chain itself as a weapon. The incident also highlighted broader operational issues affecting correctional systems across the United States, including staffing shortages, burnout among detention personnel, and increased risks during inmate transports. Meanwhile, tributes for Deputy John Durm poured in from fellow officers, public officials, and members of the community. Law enforcement agencies across Indiana honored the fallen deputy for his years of service and dedication to public safety. Memorial tributes reflected the emotional impact his death had on officers, who viewed the attack as a painful reminder of the dangers correctional personnel face every day behind jail walls. As prosecutors continued building their case against Orlando Mitchell, legal analysts noted the seriousness of the allegations could significantly increase the penalties he faces if convicted. The case remained under intense public attention because it combined multiple alarming elements into a single investigation: a murder suspect, the killing of a sheriff's deputy, an escape attempt, and the theft of a law enforcement vehicle. For many observers, the incident raised difficult questions about jail operations, inmate transport safety, and the realities correctional officers face while carrying out duties rarely seen by the public. The death of Deputy John Durm ultimately became more than just another criminal case. It became a stark reminder of how quickly routine assignments inside correctional systems can turn deadly. Authorities continue emphasizing that the investigation examined not only Orlando Mitchell's actions, but also the systemic issues surrounding staffing levels and transport security procedures that may have contributed to the deadly outcome. For Deputy Durm's family, the tragedy left behind a permanent loss created during what should have been an ordinary inmate transfer. One violent moment changed everything. For Crime Scene 24/7, this case remains a chilling reminder that some of the most dangerous confrontations in law enforcement happen far from public view, inside transport vehicles, secured facilities, and correctional systems, where a single moment can end in irreversible tragedy. If you've been following this case, share your thoughts below. Do you believe understaffing played a major role in what happened, or should more accountability fall on transport procedures themselves? For more detailed true crime reports and courtroom developments from around the country, stay connected to Crime Scene 24/7.